A little bit premature, perhaps, but who the heck cares? It came upon the midnight clear, that glorious song of old, from angels bending near the earth to touch their harps of gold. Peace on the earth, goodwill to men, from heaven's all-gracious King. The world in solemn stillness lay to hear the angels sing. Well, as you can hear by the gulls, we sit here in solemn stillness to listen to the seagulls sing. So we are in Redcliffe, of course, and that tune, someone asked what the tune was called. I can't actually remember what the tune is called there, but it's quite a well-known tune, so I shouldn't, it'll take you about maybe 5 seconds to go and find it online. By the way, hello. Welcome to Virtual Church. I'm your host tonight. Hi, I'm Richard. I'm live here from BIS HQ, where anything and everything does happen. So let's go into a request now, which comes in from Tyler Hyman, who's asked for a really, really relevant and uplifting Advent hymn or Advent carol. Lo, he comes with clouds descending. And I have a question, a very, very serious question. And I want you all to give me a thumbs up, okay? Do you remember last week? It was the first time we ever used a Redcliffe virtual church. And I didn't quite get the levels right for the tuba. Now, the question here is, and I want you all to give me a thumbs up only if the answer is yes. If the answer is no, give me a big thumbs down. Are we now at the right level for the tuba? I'm going to use it in this hymn. And it needs to be right. So here we go. Lo, he comes, requested by Tyler Hyman. Well, I'm very, very surprised to see thumbs down for the tuba because I fixed it. I fixed it in my settings. Well, you can't have a VC without a rowdy tuba, can we? Let me just click some buttons because this is now ridiculous. They're ridiculous, I tell you. So let me just do that. Let me just sort of do that. Let me just sort of do that. So streaming is going to 15 and 16. Is this any better? Let me just, what's this like, guys? What's this like? Any better? Oh, hello. Hello, Cheeky. How are you? Any better? Still quiet. It's not quiet. I don't understand. Ah! Why is it so quiet? The wretched thing. The wretched thing. Right. I'll tell you what. Let's just work together with this, okay? Now, Bobby, you're not going to help. I can tell you that much. Right. I'm going to try something now. I'm going to go Armageddon, okay? So, you should not be able to hear this. Okay, so I could see on my levels that you could barely hear that. All right. So now let me. I'm sorry about this. I wouldn't normally do this, obviously on the stream, but this is really important, and it's getting a little bit frustrating. Okay, take three. Take three. Balance any better? Same as before. How was that? Okay, how was it? Was that any worse or any better? Bobby, what are you doing on there? Any better? Any better? I need some guidance. Michelle, how is it still quiet, Michelle? It can't be. It's not quiet in here. It's not. Can you hear it through the speakers? Right, through the microphone, I mean. Compared to the trombas, the tuba is louder than the trombas in here. Can you hear that? You can hear that right through here. I don't know what is going on. Ah! This is just utterly ridiculous. It's so unprofessional, isn't it? But it's Christmas, so we can be unprofessional. I don't know what Christmas and unprofessional have in common, but there we go. Right, I'm gonna absolutely. Who says that? Who says Happy Gardener says it's way too loud? Mark Burbage is better on mic. Well, exactly, but I can't have it. I can't have the microphone open while it's playing for obvious reasons. And do you know what? I'm gonna give it 5 dB on every single perspective now. This should be too loud. This should be too loud. Okay, here we go. What's this like? Come on, stream, catch up. I know there's a delay, but I'm desperate to know. That was in the red on my meters up there. Okay, better. I don't know what is going on with that. That's not right. That's not right. Because what I've done is I've turned the tuba up louder for the stream than what it is in the room. What it is in the room is still quite loud, and I've basically pimped the tuba now by about collectively, maybe, I don't know, 10 dB, and it's just about right for the stream. But in here, that volume hasn't changed. Oh, it's nuts. Okay, so more digging to be done. Sorry about that, guys, and thank you for sticking with me. And as our long-term mouse, now my mouse is broken. Our long-term listener, Ben Wallace, has just said, yeah, perfectionist. Well, look, it has to be right, doesn't it? It has to be right. And, you know, I hope you enjoyed last night's very much pre-recorded, produced broadcast from Tewkesbury Abbey. You know, the tuba was definitely loud enough there when you heard it. Okay, let's crack on with some more Advent hymns, shall we? It's Gaudete Sunday today. Did you know that? Of course you knew that. Everyone knows it's Gaudete Sunday. Gaudete. What is Gaudete Sunday? I hear you all shouting. Well, luckily, I know just enough to give you a sort of a one-sentence meaning. So Gaudete Sunday is a third Sunday in Advent. Essentially, it's a third Sunday of Advent. And I believe, I don't know whether this to be fact, but it has become known as Gaudete Sunday simply because the very first word of the sort of the introit for the third Sunday of Advent in the Roman Catholic liturgy is, I've written this down, it's Latin, Gaudete in Domino semper, iterum dico gaudete, which means, as we all know, rejoice in the Lord always. And again, I say, Gaudete, rejoice. And then I think it's become nicknamed Gaudete Sunday because it's the first service. It's Rejoice Sunday, I suppose you could call it. Does that sound about right to the learned theologians in the chat? Catherine Cobb says, yesterday's concert was grand. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. Susie W says something a bit weird. Richard, you now need a strong sniff of Coke, which is what I thought you said. And I thought, not live on the internet. You need a stiff drink of Coke. Yes, I will give you a stiff drink of Coke right now. Oh, that was a stiff drink of Coke. There we go. And I do feel better now. To quote Monty Python, get on with it. I'm getting on. I'm on with it. I am getting. Ye servants of the Lord, Daniel, each for your master wait, observant of his heavenly word, and watchful at his gate. Isn't it, Daniel? This is for you. You requested this. You say this is a good Advent hymn with a tune by Purcell. Now, I'm confused by this because you said number 17 in the NEH to a tune Warsaw, so that's fine. The words, however, are to number 18, and the tune that you suggested doesn't fit to these words, and neither is it by Purcell either. So I was completely confused by that amalgamation of reasonings, but I'm going to play the tune Nerenza. Ye servants of the Lord, each for your master wait, observant of his heavenly word, and watchful at his gate. Let's try this rather enhanced tuba now. See whether it's making its way through cyberspace at the correct volume. Okay, there we go. So, ye servants of the Lord, a really good hymn for Advent there. Okay, so Liz Rawsthorne sent me a very nice email in the week, just reminding us that it is, or certainly was, Andrew Carter's 80th birthday. Sorry, no, I'm doing him a misservice there. It's his 85th birthday. That's a grand old age. Andrew Carter has written some really wonderful music for all seasons, really. You know, he's the one who wrote this very famous Christmas carol. A maiden most gentle and... Everyone knows that, of course. He wrote some of the things as well, but he also wrote a toccata on this. Which is rather exciting, so I thought I would give it a go. If that's okay. It's pretty exciting, this piece. So what do we need to have on? Let me get some stops out. I always forget what my choir divisionals do. There's no usual format for choir divisionals, if I'm honest. It's just a bit of hit and miss. Great and swell I always have the same, but for choir it really depends on the organ. So let's see whether that will do anything good. Basically full choir, which does sound pretty glorious, actually. Right, let's see whether we can play this, Liz. Give it a go. Right, so how about now, whilst that tune is in our minds, should we go straight into the hymn? I think so. Let's have a go. Whew. There we go. Does that sound okay? One thing that this organ has, which I don't know whether I've used yet, it's a little bit of a gimmick. So if you have the sample set, or even if you don't have the sample set, what you can do is play the organ at different times of the day. And what I mean by that is not only did I record every single pipe, but I recorded different ambience times. So middle of the day, evening, late at night, and of course the Redcliffe bells. So what you've had on so far is the evening one. So this is almost just coming out of rush hour. It was about 7:30 at night, hence the passing traffic, and you do hear a siren as well. But what I also have is one that was recorded during the day. So in this one, you may hear a mobile phone go off, you may hear some people talking. This one actually just gives it a sort of a feeling of you practicing during the day when you would only be allowed to play on, something like this sort of sound, practicing. And often there's so much noise in the church or the cathedral, wherever you are, that you can't even hear yourself play. But that is really realistic. In York, when I was organ scholar, there's a famous stop, or I don't know whether it's famous, but it's well known because it's called the Echo Dulciana. So a Dulciana stop is generally quiet anyway on most organs, but the Dulciana stop on the organ of York Minster has something called an Echo Dulciana, which basically means it's even quieter than normal. So if you imagine this Dulciana, so I learnt so much repertoire at York during the day on that stop and it was on the solo, so you could close the box as well, so you could barely hear it, but you could hear all the background noise, and you could barely hear yourself play, but you could just hear it just loud enough so that you could learn, Vidor or Cesar Franck on it, Bach as well, so you can just play something like this, you could play that very quietly and no one would hear it. Oh, but there we go. Anyway, so let's move on to let's go in to where is it? I've got my Carol book on the iPad, which is quite handy now, so I can just zip around the pages, and rather than having it on the actual physical book. Personant Audier. This should be a bit of fun. We like to have fun, don't we? As you can see, I was having a bit of fun with my video editing last night in the Koshoro, the final piece in the recital last night, with the pow coming on the screen. Actually, what I often do, which I forgot that time, is going into the final verse. Imagine this is the penultimate verse. This is you can take this as a BIS thing. This is what I do, but I forgot. So go up the scale rather than down the scale. If you're feeling adventurous, what you could also do for the more adventurous amongst you, you could do this. Who will make him welcome? A bit of controversy with your feet. Why not? Christmas is all about fun, even though this is Adventist can still be fun. Anyway, let's go on. We're going to now have another request, which is coming from Daniel. So I'm actually playing catch up because if you remember last week, I didn't actually play any pre-requests at all because of lack of time. I did only live requests, so I'm doing catch up now. So there's a few requests from previous weeks. This one is from this week. He says, I love this tune and the text of this Advent hymn. But Daniel has been so good as to send in a recorded introduction. So I will hand over to Daniel to announce it himself.
Hi, Richard. This is Daniel Kabacki. My request for Gaudete Sunday, a.k.a. the third Sunday of Advent, also known as Pink Sunday, is The Lord Will Come and Not Be Slow, number 15 in the New English Hymnal, to the tune St. Stephen. I like this tune because it's a short tune, but it's beautiful. Yes, there are 5 verses, but they're good verses, and they are short as well. So I hope you enjoy this hymn. Happy Gaudete Sunday!
Well, as Bill did say, rather subdued. Of course, it was. But two things to remember that I've had a lot of loud hymns so far. The second thing to remember is, and I can't stress this enough, okay, I need to really put this on as sort of like a warning, or, you know, on any sample set. I see so many people, and I'm not going to name any names, most of whom you will know, playing sample set organs quite simply inappropriately. And what I mean by that is, when you play a real organ in real life, you don't just go for full great, and you don't do that, pull all the stops out there, pull all the stops out there, and, you know, with your mouse just click all of the stops on. Because organs aren't designed to do that. They're just simply not. They sound a bit weird doing that, but it will also be extremely and excessively loud in the building. The Redcliffe organ particularly, and I haven't seen people do this Redcliffe, but I hope people don't do it. They just don't go for full great and full swell straight away, you know, with all of the trombas on, all of the mixtures. If I do, I'll feel disheartened by that. Just a warning, because it's not realistic. If you wanted a very, very loud sound on the sample set, on the pipe organ, sorry, all you need to do is go up to the 5-rank mixture and, yes, have the full swell going. And that is louder than most organs, period. It's huge. If you just then, you know, because, oh, it's turned down on my headphones, you know, it's not very loud, I want it louder on my headphones, pull out the trombas, you're actually getting quite a false sound, because you wouldn't play stuff with the trombas on. You wouldn't play hymns. You'd never hear that hymn ever played in the building with anything more than the mixture on the grate, and maybe full swell with the box closed. It's not a loud hymn. And, you know, you might use it for, I don't know, stuff like this, you know. And it sounds amazing for that. And of course the Vidor. But for hymns, you wouldn't. I just want people to, when they play sample sets, to play them like you're playing a real organ. And I guess what brought me onto this, Bill, and it was absolutely nothing to do with what you said at all. It's a completely fair thing to say. It was a subdued performance. But what I want to say is the registration that I had on there. So I ended on this, I think it was this, wasn't it? This, yes. So what I've got on here is the 8 and 4 flutes across all of the divisions. So the swell, the echo, the choir, and the grate have the 8 and 4 foot flutes. In the building, that would be enough to lead maybe an evensong congregation, you know, of about 50 people. That really would. In here, and on the stream, it sounds, well, I can barely hear it. That's because, of course, when it gets really loud, we have to make sure it's not too loud for our speakers and it's not too loud for the stream. So that's one of the wonderful things about this organ, is it's such a dynamic organ that it does go monumentally loud. Again, inappropriately loud for the hymns, but people get tempted and just pull out all the stops and just bang away like this. Yeah, sounds great. I just think, no, it doesn't sound great. It sounds absolutely awful. I don't respect that. I don't respect it at all. I respect people who actually treat sample sets like a pipe organ and get the best out of them. You know, sample sets just need to be treated a bit differently to their pipe organ counterparts, because some things don't always blend as nicely in a digital format than they do in a real building with the blooming acoustic. You know, that brings it all together. So you've got to have an ear for sample sets and just treat them differently. Anyway, that was a little bit of a sort of a diversion, wasn't it? Wasn't expecting to talk about that. Doug Alderdice, this is a more serious and a poignant point, has asked for God is our hope and a refuge. Let me just find it before I give you the reason why Doug has rather poignantly asked for this hymn. This is dyslexia is a nightmare. The alphabet has gone out of my memory. God is, and all the words look the same. God is our. God is love. God be with you. God is love. God is my strong salvation. God is our maker. God is working. Why isn't it there? It should be there. Damn bus. Damn bus. It comes up. It comes up when I search for it. But when I look alphabetically, not there. Okay? Right. God is love. God is my strong. God is our maker. God is working his purpose out. No more God is. But I search for it, and there it is. Oh. Why do you hate me so much? God is our. But there it is. Anyone got any reason why I did that? Anyway, so Doug, this is what I'll read you what he says. So, in memory of a dear friend who died on Friday evening, someone who I worked with for many years and got to know outside of work as we shared many interests, and his family and my family became quite close. As he was a student of World War II, particularly about the vehicles and communications part of the war, I would like to request the Dam Busters hymn, as its text is fitting, which is Psalm 46. And of course, the tune is from the famous movie about that World War II endeavour, what were called the bouncing bombs, of course, which we've spoken about numerous times. God is our strength and refuge, our present help in trouble, and we therefore will not fear, though the earth should change. Though mountains shake and tremble, though swirling floods are raging, God the Lord of hosts is with us evermore. Okay, I'm going to see some colourful things going on the screen. What's going on? There's a huge thank you to the following people. Matthew Leach for donating 5 channel memberships. Thank you very much, Matthew. For Bill for putting $20 into the tip jar for. I haven't done the washing up since over the last few weeks, so it's looking a bit overflowed. But that is about 2 weeks of dirty washing there. Newcomers will think, what is he talking about? Gerard Long for your $5, thank you very much. J Doubledum for $2, thank you very much. Robert, thank you for your 100, your red donation, that's very kind. Hello Richard, I signed in just at the right time. I love this version of O Come Emmanuel. If you're doing requests today, it'd be nice to hear whence is that goodly fragrance, okay? Daniel for your $2, thank you very much. Bill for 5 memberships, thank you very much. And there we go. I think that's it for now. Give you some. I can hear quite a bit of noise in the background. Okay, so God is our strength and refuge. Hi, Donald. Just want to say hello because you have indeed been in tacit mode. I haven't seen you for a while, and I'm happy to see you back because I do remember that you have been around for a while. So thank you for coming back. Geoplanet Jane is another long-term listener who I've not seen him in chat for a long time, but it's good to have you back as well, Jane. Anyone else who has been away for a while? It's good to have Jerry chatting with us again. Got your request coming up, Jerry, soon. Jonathan Atto Markin, I don't recognize you. Are you a new listener? You're very welcome. Who's this? Add. AADD. Great name, but I'm not sure what it means. Is that no, it's A-A-D-D. Is that how you say it? Good to have you with us, though, my friend. Anyone else who's new, you are all very welcome indeed. Roger Richards, thank you very much for your 10. That's very kind. So we're now going to have a couple more requests, and then we're going to have this week's top 5, which has come in, and it's appropriate. We might actually leave that with me. Leave it with me. So we're going to now have requests from, who's this? Jonathan, and I apologize about the pronunciation of the surname, Jonathan Farquhar. Let earth and heaven combine. Let's have a look at this one. See if we can find it. I'm still baffled as to why God is our hope and refuge is not in the correct order. I'm going to have to ask Caroline to double check my dyslexia there because it's baffling. What I'm looking for now, let earth and heaven combine. So if I arrange it by date modified newest, it should be toward the top. There it is. And then we ought to have the famous Gaudete tune in a minute as well. So this tune though is called Adoration, and Jonathan, in his email to me, he said that this is an unknown, a less known hymn, and I looked at it and I thought I don't actually recognise it either, but it looks actually rather nice. So let's have a listen to this and let's see what we think about it. So give me a sort of an opinion on this hymn. How is the ambient noise, by the way? Is it a little bit too much? as Jerry says, the glorious strings of St Mary Redcliffe. Very unique, I think. Someone left a comment on one of my videos after hearing the strings, and rightly said that they could have been Skinner strings. So if you're an American organist, and a lot of you are, this organ is surely the one for you, because it has Skinner-like strings on it. It also has very English, mellow strings over here on the echo division, which are equally beautiful, but less exciting, or more ethereal. Whereas these orchestral strings, is what you might want to call them, are very different in character. Fabulous, fabulous stuff. Okay, so talking about Jerry, now going to have a hymn requested by my good friend and colleague, Jerry Martin, who says, celebrating all things new and the interconnections of our musical lives. This is a new hymn, and the words capture the essence of our wonderful community. And the words are, we are the spools of many hues, to others yet unknown, and weak as though one thread may be, it strengthens when it's sewn. As people of God's tapestry, through Christ we're not alone. Entwined our lives are laced as one, and here God's love is shown. The music is by, now I'm going to go on Jerry's pronunciation of this, okay, because Jerry and this person are good friends, so I would have assumed that Jerry's good friend would have corrected him if he was pronouncing it wrong. Aaron Shows. It's pronounced show, as in you go to a musical show, but I've always heard it pronounced shows. So the music is by Aaron, and the text is by Paul Audley, and also by Aaron as well. So this is pretty much a brand new hymn, so it's going to put my sight reading abilities to the test, I think. So where should we start with this? We've got 4 verses, and I don't know whether people will know the words. How are we going to let people know the words? Okay, let's have that and that. Seagulls. Honestly, I'm having flashbacks as to when I was there sampling the organ, because I was, sampling the notes, and I had my headphones on, and here I go on a bit more. Oh. They were doing it, so the blackbirds were out as well. So the blackbirds, I love blackbirds. They're my favourite bird song. But they were doing their evening chorus at maybe about 8:30 until 9. They were quite contained. But seagulls, they were just doing it all night. It was like the most annoying bird in the world. Is there a bird more annoying than a seagull? And don't say a London pigeon, because they're annoying as well. I saw you talking about Notre Dame earlier, so I might give you my opinion on Notre Dame, because I think some of you might be interested in what I think about that. So I'll play this, and then I'll say what I think about the whole Notre Dame thing. I bet you can't wait for that. Well, thank you very much, Jerry, for introducing me to that. And I think, I guess also to a lot of people as well. It was commissioned in November last month, 2024. So that's how old it is. It's less than a month old. So it is brand new. Probably one of the newest hymns I've probably ever played. Well, it is officially the newest hymn I've ever played in virtual church, because I've never played a hymn post-November that was written post-November 2024, obviously. So it is the newest one, but what I mean is probably the most recently composed since I played it. There we go. So Jerry says, I believe this is the first time it has been heard on this side of the Atlantic. Do you mean this side, or do you mean that side? My side or your side? Hills of the North rejoice is amazing, Ollie. So put something in the tip jar and you can have it. Because I've got a good reharmonization for that one as well. Donald says, excellent hymn. Oh Lord, forgive our foolish divisiveness. Yeah, well, that's absolutely. Being divisive is never a good idea. Jerry, thank you very much for your red donation. Red donations are most sort of the top tier of the donations. So thank you very much indeed for that. So my thought on Notre Dame, it won't take long because I didn't really have a thought on it, to be honest with you. When I watched it, when I listened to it, it was just Notre Dame. I was a guest. I was a listener online. You know, I would have been a visitor, and I was just absorbing Notre Dame. So it's important to remember that the organ music and the style of worship, the style of organ playing, is, I guess, quite unique to Notre Dame Cathedral. And the improvisations that we heard as visitors, as guests to that place, are what have been played there for many years now. And I personally, I felt very excited by it, simply because it was Notre Dame doing what it has been doing for a long time, putting on a spectacular show of music that is that you just don't hear anywhere else in the world. And my problem with people who were complaining about it is that it would be like people coming here to BIS, inviting them to the concert in here, and then going home, or watching a stream online, watching a stream and leaving a comment on my video saying, how dare he have a carpet like that? How dare he? So inappropriate for live streaming. Well, I'm sorry. This is how I do it. This is how I stream. This is how I broadcast. If you don't like it, then don't watch it. So we work, all of us, myself and all of the people inside the building, they were there as visitors and guests in that wonderful place, absorbing what has been happening in there for a long time. The difference is a lot of people who were sort of against it, the style of improvisation that is, hadn't heard it before and were surprised by this sound world that was new to them. And then they complained about it, which I think that was wrong, because you like I said, you don't go into someone's house and complain about the curtains or the cutlery that you're served. You appreciate it and you enjoy it and you're grateful. I think that is the important thing. You're grateful for what you've just experienced. We should all be very grateful about the fact that Notre Dame now is a bit better than ever. It's been cleaned, it's got a brand new roof, it looks wonderful. The organ's been taken out, restored, put back in, is now better than ever. We should all be very thankful. And I think most people who were sort of naysaying about it, luckily, actually, were the, I guess, people who aren't familiar with organ music, with French organ music. I think that's a fair comment. The average commentator was, I guess, naive to organ music and to what organ improvisation is in Paris. Okay, we don't hear stuff like that in this country, unless you're listening to John Hosking play, who can improvise fabulously. And in the building, it is very exciting. And that's another thing to be aware of as well. In the building, and as often as I say to you guys, I've said many times to you, I wish you could hear it in the room. It sounds wonderful in the room. In the building, in Notre Dame, when Olivier Natry was improvising like that, it would have been electrifying. Let me promise you that. Because the organ it growls, it just is so exciting. On the recording, you can hear everything really close and it sounds almost like, ugh. But in the building, with all of the distance and all of the acoustic, don't forget the organ is way up in the sky, miles away. It just comes at you like that. And you wouldn't have heard all of those individual notes. You wouldn't. It would have been a wall of sound. And there was a guy, I did see a very short snippet of a review by someone who definitely wasn't an organist. And I don't even think he was religious either, actually. He was commentating on the service as a whole, and it was an American news program. I don't know which one it was. I don't know which one it was. It wasn't one of the main ones. But this guy was in Paris, and the ladies back in the newsroom asked him how it was, and he picked out the organ, and he said, actually, the organ was amazing. He actually said that, and he wasn't an organist. And I thought, that's from someone who was in the building. There we go. That's my tuppence worth on the whole fiasco. And I'm really surprised that is what people are focused on, to be honest. But hey-ho, people like to complain. People who sit in one of those chairs. It's called an armchair. And people who like to complain online. People who like to think that they are experts. What is it called? Someone who sits in an armchair and proclaims to be an expert. Right, come on, I'm going to play now. Has anyone requested, what do you call it? Of the Father's Heart Begotten yet? No, and no. Well, how dare you not request it? Well, I'm going to play it anyway. I was hoping someone would request it. But simply because I've got a really cool sort of prelude into it by Philip Moore, Of the Father's Heart Begotten. That one, you know. Let's have a go at this one. I love this. This is one of my favourites. Actually, we have, actually, can I do something? Because we have, and this was introduced to me by one of you, we have the original, and I think actually superior version of the tune, because the tune has been put into a meter by, was it David Wilcox, I think, into 3/4, but it wasn't originally in 3/4. It was a plain song. I haven't got it on here. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. But the tune originally wasn't in 3/4. It would have done. It did this. And so on. But obviously now it's in 3/4. So we'll do it. We'll do the version that we know, the David Wilcox version. But before we hear that version, we're going to listen to a sort of a prelude on the tune by my old boss at York Minster, Philip Moore. Now I'm playing this now as if I was in the building. What I'm going to use is I've got the full swell enabled, and what I will use is, because it's all quite high, I'll probably just use just a tromba. Actually, that'll be certainly loud enough. Believe you me. I'm going to turn this ambience off because these are old women nattering behind me. Ridiculous. There we go. Let's go to the middle of the night. So what do you think about? Was I fair in my observation about the Parisian organ improvisation? of the Father's heart begotten, to the tune Corde Natus ex parentis, one of the great tunes for the season of Advent. Right, so just one more piece of organ music to play just before I get into the live requests tonight. By the looks of it, we've only had 4 live requests, so if you want me to play any more hymns, please do pop something into the tip jar. I know it's a little bit dirty, it's a bit full, but I forgot to do the washing up. Naughty me. So I'm going to play something from this Call for Composers book, my first BIS book, which came out in 2022. All of these pieces were not specifically written for me, but they are all by members of the BIS community. So this is something which I am very proud of. I'm going to play something by Adam Heron. Adam is he's been on BIS a few times, and he writes very nicely, and I'm going to play a ditty by him called A Christmas Pastoral, and this is on quite a well-known tune. It's on O Come All Ye Faithful, and I'm going to play it because why not? So with it being a Christmassy ditty, you want to have a twinkly soundy. So I'm going to use what am I going to use? That is a very fine question. Should I use that? Or should I use that? No, let's use the swell trumpet. And that's going to be accompanied by the Echo 842 flutes and the great stopped diapason. Like that. Yeah, this is A Christmas Pastoral by Adam Heron. I wonder whether actually it's on the iPad. I'll just save me from turning the pages. Let me see if it's on here. It is on here because I played them all from Christmas. There it is. All right. So these are still available, by the way. I have, I think, 3 or 4 left of the original 200. The Veni Creator book sold out pretty quickly, 200 of those, which was incredible. So I do need to get more of them. I don't think we're going to get more in time for Christmas, unfortunately. And then the BIS calendars sold out as well. So I originally ordered 100 of those. They went within a few weeks. So I think we're doing something right. If we keep selling out of stock, BIS is doing something right. Right, A Christmas Pastoral by Adam Heron. So I'm up there. I'm there. Okay. And what a delightful little ditty it is. Okay, so let's now go into these live requests. So the first one starts with Danny Boy. Daniel Kubaki, this is your third request tonight, my friend. You're doing well out of this VC, aren't you? Hills of the North Rejoice. I did say earlier that I hoped someone would request it, because it is a pretty good hymn, and I've got a good reharm for it as well. So let's have a listen. Hills of the North Rejoice. This is when the Southerners feel left out. It does say in verse 2, Isles of the Southern Seas, and then lands of the East awake, and shores of the utmost West. But the hills in the north are pretty good, actually. Although in Scotland, they are, I think, unbeatable, aren't they? It's, you know, you got Snowdonia up there, and then, sorry, in Wales you got Snowdonia. I mean, Ben Nevis in Scotland. Where was it? Come on, concentrate. L, Little Cornard. There it is. All right. Hills of the North Rejoice. Oh, I need to have a voluntary tonight. So has anyone got any suggestions on what we might play at the end of VC tonight? Open to suggestions. Played some Mendelssohn last week in Romsey, last Sunday morning. Mendelssohn, the first movement of Sonata No. 1, F minor. That was pretty exciting. Does anybody want to hear that? That would work well on this organ. Well, what doesn't? What doesn't, to be fair? Hills of the North Rejoice, coming your way. What's the first word of verse 5? Shout. Yes, so tuba and the great trombas coupled to the choir. With that. Let me tell you, in the building, that would knock your socks off. It doesn't quite in here because it's turned down, but it would knock your socks off that. Okay, so that was for Daniel Krabacki. Now, Robert Solowski. Whence is that goodly fragrance? Oh, yes. Now, this has been sent through on email. Oh, what a beautiful hymn this is. Words. Whence is that goodly fragrance flowing, stealing our senses all away? Never like did come a blowing. Never the like did come a blowing. Shepherds in flowery fields of May. Whence is that goodly fragrance flowing, stealing our senses away? I just want to have a quick look to see whether I've got another version on here, actually. Number page 217, the 100 counts requires. Yes, this is a nice version. See if I can get this. See if I can get this played. Robert, if you're still watching, this one is for you. Yes, Gregory. Indeed, it is indeed a French. It's a French carol, I think, isn't it? Originally, quelle est cette odeur agréable? So let's use some of these beautiful solo stops. Let's try a bit of that, a bit of that, and a bit of that, and with that as well. Okay, so Robert, this is for you, my friend. That was the David Wilcox arrangement of Whence Is That Goodly Fragrance Flowing, written there for a choir and organ accompaniment. And in the final verse, you have you actually have a nice descant between, a nice canon between the solo, baritone solo, and everyone else, which may sound like this. That is harder than you think, actually, playing that. Because I was playing the right hand with my left hand and the left hand with my right hand and left hand down an octave. that was hard. I'm amazed I got through that. Oh, Robert, thank you very much. Oh, good. You received the calendars. Yeah, they arrived safely. That's a relief. So they are going to various corners of the earth now. A lot of them have gone over to America. A lot of them have gone around England, obviously, into Wales, into Germany, into the Netherlands, down to Australia. They've gone, which is amazing to think that something that I've created it's been shipped all the way to the other side of the world, which blows my mind. Yeah, so I've now we've had to buy a second batch of calendars, so we have more calendars. So if you'd like to have a calendar, I haven't got any to hand because I've sold them all, and I've signed a few as well. So if you wanted me to sign some, of course I would do that, but you have to make sure you get in touch with me directly via an email address, and I will sign it for you on a specific date. So I haven't got any to show you, unfortunately, but you got to take my word for it. They're pretty nice, and as they've sold out, I think that's a testament to their quality. Right. Anyway, let's go on. Oh, I know what I haven't done. Oh, I know. I'll save it to the end. I haven't done the Gaudete tune yet. I haven't done it. Rejoice, rejoice, believers. Let's have a look. See if that's on the old on the iPad. So I have a question for you. You being the collective chat. Which album, music album, or video, do you go for on Christmas Day? So whilst you're eating your lunch, your Christmas dinner, what do you have on in the background? What are you listening to? Those of you who say a BIS production get extra points. I've done a few Christmas Day releases. I'll see if I can do one this year. If you want me to do a Christmas Day compilation for your Christmas lunch, what would you like me to play? What should I play? Should I play sort of gentle Christmas music? Let me know. Let me know, and we might just get around to doing it. Classic FM Radio, says Carol. Good idea, actually. It's probably quite. Lucy says Radio 2. Who's on Radio 2 these days, Lucy? Is it Chris Evans? Or was he? No, he's gone to Heart now, hasn't he? Who's on Radio 2? Simon Mayo's not on there anymore. Zoe Ball's just left. Steve Wright's obviously not there anymore. Great shame. Who are the Radio 2 big players at the minute? Rejoice, rejoice, believers. This one. Ah, yes. I had. I had this down to play, actually. I was going to play it without. I was going to insert it. Well, thank you for requesting it, Gerald. Yes. I think I forgot to write it down. Did I forget to write it down? Yes, I think I did forget to write it down. But oh well, thank you for sending me $5 and reminding me about it. All right, well, let's have a go. Great tune. And Josh has just informed me that it was Josh who chose it, on behalf of Gerald, I think. Great choice then, Josh. Great minds think alike, because I really wanted to play that one. Just want to share just some feedback that I had about the sample set, because I feel like you've supported me on this journey. I'm so grateful to your, I guess, patience and support, because I realise that it's taken me away from creating other content for BIS. I know that the Sunday evening things have continued, but quite a lot of midweek content has just fallen by the wayside in the past 7 months because of the sample set. So I am very grateful for your patience. I just want to share with you some feedback that I received from someone who I don't know, someone who I've never worked with or corresponded with before. But this person is over in the Netherlands and is an organist. And because I want to, I'm very open to feedback. And they said, thank you very much for the exciting sample set of the Harrison and Harrison organ of St. Mary Redcliffe. I can't express enough my great joy about it. Then he tells me where he's the organist in the Netherlands. He says, I have always been a great lover of the romantic English organ, which began in the 1980s hearing the organ of King's College, Cambridge, which became his first love. Because, well, obviously the organ of King's is very famous, not least because of the carols from King's service, but the organ is a really wonderful, quite a similar organ actually to this one, but I guess it has a nicer acoustic, but not quite as bullish as this organ. It has most things that this organ has, but it hasn't got the big strings on it. It does have very nice strings on it. It does have clarabelle flutes. It has a lot of the sort of things that this organ has, but just not quite as boisterous, if you know what I mean. He says, and I have deep respect for the work you are doing and the great qualities you have reached in the Redcliffe sample set. I hope there is more to come in the future. And I just wanted to share that with you, not just to gloat or to show off or anything, because I don't do that sort of thing. But I just wanted to say that because it's feedback like that, which I think for me makes doing all of this sort of thing worthwhile. People who take the time to say thank you and how much they are enjoying something that we, Jerry Martin and I, created. And that means so much, just for someone to spend 5 minutes putting together a short email to say thank you. And I just want to say a collective thank you to that person if they're watching, and also to you for your support and patience, because it's been a real journey, and I think we've achieved something quite special. Anyway, a few more requests to go. Where's my mouse? That's not the mouse. There it is. And then, so Saviour like a shepherd leaders. Oh, we've got company in the room. Hello.
Hello. What's been a journey? The duration of time it's taken you to send the Sina Franck albums? Or something else?
Something else, actually. It may surprise you. I was just sharing a bit of feedback that I got about the organ, the sample set organ.
Oh, St. Mary Redcliffe.
Yeah, I'm just saying
Nice tuba, by the way.
I was just saying how much I appreciated it. It still wasn't right, so I've had to make a temporary fix. It's weird, isn't it? It's nothing to do with the sample set. It's my settings and Hauptwerk somewhere. It's the stream sort of settings. It's not when I pre-record it. It's not when I play it in the room. It's just when people hear it online. It's
A tuba-related glitch.
It's just too quiet for some reason. That's all it is. I really can't work it out why it's doing that.
Absolute shocker. There's nothing Gaudete about that.
Well, I don't know. Nothing to rejoice about that at all. No, you're absolutely right there.
Nala says, nice strings.
It wasn't just the strings, actually. I had
Other things as well.
the vox humana, orchestral oboe, and then this echo oboe as well. So a couple of the quiet reeds. But
Oops.
name me another sample set that sounds like that.
I don't know.
Maybe do it launch a little bit, but I don't know whether it'll sound quite like that. That's a very unique sound, I think, to handwork at the minute. Unless I'm missing an organ, I don't know.
So it's a tuba crisis, but it's an echo, oboe, and string.
Triumph.
Yes, Gaudete. What do you think, Nala?
Yes, that's what she thinks of that.
Oh, she's off.
On Jordan's bank, the Baptists cry announces that the Lord is nigh. Should we have that one for Ryan Frederick? Same book, number 249. Which tune have we got? Oh, okay. Puer Nobis. It's not the one we normally have. We normally have pom 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 pom. Well, here we have a very different tune.
Something new about Winchester.
Well, when it was new, It's just like Alresford, old and new Alresford. They called New Alresford because old Alresford existed and they built a new town and couldn't think of a different name, so they called it New Alresford. It's a true story, that. I don't know why they didn't come up with a different name. Okay, I love this tune. It has to be played grandly, majestically. So I'll do my best with it. just with the added amen there. It doesn't have it in the score actually, or in the words, but I can't play that hymn tune and not have the amen at the end. It feels very strange. Gregory wonders that we have had of the Father's love begotten. I wonder whether you've actually sent in a different version. Let's see if you sent me the this version. Good. Well, we'll have a couple of verses of this, because this is actually what I was looking for earlier on. So let's have this one. This is what I was trying to tell you about. Thank you, Gregory, for bringing this to our minds. I think that is actually much nicer than the version that we have, certainly over in this country, the version that we have come to know via David Wilcox. I think that's a much nicer arrangement. I think that's the original version, plain song, with a nice, lovely harmonisation as well. So we've had it twice tonight, but never mind. It's the right season for it. Michelle has sent in a request for Tell Out My Soul. That's a very fine request indeed. So let's have that.
It's very seasonal as well, isn't it, the Magnificat?
Yeah.
It's very seasonal.
Well, to give the Virgin Mary Mother a nod, is in this day and age of gender equality, it's absolutely the right thing to do. So Sonata number 1 by Mendelssohn, I think, was quite popular.
Are you going to play Bring a Torch?
Not today.
Oh.
I might bring
what
I
are
might I might
spoils for?
might bring it out at some point.
But then, to be fair, you're not wearing a Christmas jumper.
No, exactly. No, I have to. Yeah, so I can't play that unless I'm wearing a Christmas jumper. That's the deal. And that is definitely a Christmassy
There's
piece.
an amazing
So
picture of a sloth on Richard's monitor, everyone. You can't see it, but Richard's got a computer in the corner, and the screensaver picture at the moment is an amazing picture of a sloth hugging a tree.
yeah, but people are going to think, why on earth has he got a picture of a sloth?
I just thought I'd share that with you.
Because I model my life on the psychology of a sloth.
Yeah, right. Well, if that tree's like the sample set making apparatus, then that is absolutely true. Hug that tree and don't let go.
Right, here we go. So Tell Out My Soul, and then we'll have the famous Gaudete tune, which you haven't had yet. So we'll have that after we've had this for our very supportive and regular contributor to BIS, Michelle. Love it. I love this organ so much. Well, thank you, Michelle. That was I think a great way to end our final sort of hymn section, if you like. I mean, haven't had, this is Gaudete Sunday, and we haven't had the main hymn, if you like, the main tune for Gaudete, Gaudete, Christus est Notre. Ex Maria Virgine Gaudete. Just if you want to have a bit of a giggle after VC tonight, into YouTube, type Gaudete, Kings, Singers, Shreds. All right, those three things. Gaudete, Kings, Singers, Shreds. If you don't chuckle, then You're in a bad mood. All right, so let's have a bit of a go with this, shall we?
I think you recommended that video this time last year as well.
It is funny though. Have you seen it?
Yeah, of course I have. It is funny.
It is funny. That's why I've suggested that they watch it. I think they'll like it. Well, what am I going to do with this? I should have planned this in advance. But you know me. Let's do a tuba versus tromba. And then what I might do is I might go straight into the Mendelssohn after this. Well, there we go. That was the first movement of Organ Sonata number 1 in F minor. A very powerful piece, I think you'll agree. And it's based on the in the middle section on the chorale, Was mein Gott will, whatever God's will. It's, I don't know whether you know that it's not a particularly well-known tune, I don't think. Sounds a bit like another tune, doesn't it? But then it goes. Oh, that's in a different key. Yeah, no, I don't know that chorale. But that's what you heard. That is a harmonization on that chorale. Well, that brought a close to tonight's virtual church for Gaudete Sunday. We gave it a nod, didn't we? But we are in Advent, of course. Got one more Sunday to go before it's Christmas Day, so we ought to have a bit of a Christmas celebration, and I probably will do a special live broadcast just before Christmas as well at some point as well. Christmas jumper on, and you may get Bring a Torch, Jeanette, Isabella. If you ask nicely, you Americans, I know you love that tune.
You love
or
it
that
now.
arrangement.
You love it now.
It's all right. Don't mind
It
it.
took you years to learn it, but now you've learned it, you play it lots.
Well, once a year. Christmas, exactly.
No, you can like it.
Well, I played it. I did play it, to be fair, a couple of nights ago in a concert down the road on a pipe organ. So I am introducing to it.
Is it a toaster?
No, it's not a toaster. It's got pipes. I mean, they may have a toaster in the kitchen, but not in the church, as far as I'm aware. Right. Good night, everyone.
About the putting the kettle on comment in Tewkesbury Abbey in your outtakes yesterday.
Yes.
Oh, it's him, is it? Oh.
Did anyone see the outtakes on the Tewkesbury recording? Is that the kettle? Yeah, I put the kettle on. Is that the kettle? Okay, well, good night, everyone. Thank you for joining me last night in the Tewkesbury recording. I did appreciate your company there last night. I'm very proud of that recording. So if you haven't watched it already, and you want a bit more organ music tonight, put your headphones on and just wallow in that incredible sound world. It's the organ sounds amazing there, and you truly feel like you're right in the middle of the action with that recording. So highly recommended to you. It has had very good feedback, and the organists are, I know, very pleased with it. So go and check it out if you haven't already. And I'd love to see a comment on that video if you wouldn't mind. So if you haven't already, please do click the like button on this video. We've got 174 likes on this video, and we've had over nearly 2,000 people tune in tonight at various points. So you work out what that ratio is. Most of you have subscribed, and just stay tuned for more content over the coming days. Wayne Marshall is coming your way, 3 Christmas improvisations, another recording by Robert Quinney. He recorded 2 pieces whilst he was here, and you've only heard 1 so far. So look out for that as well. And otherwise, just you take care, you stay safe, you wrap those presents, and you have a lovely, lovely few weeks. Until next time, we will both say cheerio.
Cheerio.
Goodbye. Cheerio.
Bye-bye.